Young cafe worker turns an 80s hit into something unrecognizable. The Voice Journey number 207. Her name is Maya Chen. She's 23, and until 3 months ago, the biggest audience she ever had was a 7:30 a.m. rush at Luna and Bean on 6th Street. If you've ever been to Luna and Bean, you know the vibe. Exposed brick, too many plants, a chalkboard menu that says oat milk is love, and a tip jar that says, college fund, help me not be in debt forever. Maya has worked there since she was 19. She makes a perfect flat white. She can remember that Mr. Henderson wants decaf, half-calf, extra hot with 2 raw sugars, and that the girl with the blue headphones always wants her iced matcha with less ice. She is invisible, in the way good service workers are invisible. People look through you, they are on their phones, they are late. What they didn't know was that Maya had a second job after she clocked out. She stayed. She waited until the espresso machine was cleaned, the chairs were flipped, the owner, Luis, locked up and left, and then she would plug her little thrifted amp into the corner outlet, sit on the edge of the counter where the afternoon sun came in, and sing. Not covers the way you think. Maya didn't sing songs, she unmade them. She had grown up in her mom's tiny apartment above a dry cleaner. Her mom, Ling, had come from Vietnam in the 90s and worked 6 days a week. The only English music Ling really loved was 80s pop. So Maya's childhood was Tina Turner, Cyndi Lauper, Tears for Fears, Bonnie Tyler, Phil Collins, all on a scratched CD player that skipped if you breathed too hard. Maya loved those songs, but she heard them differently. In her head, the big, glossy neon production fell away, and what was left was the skeleton, the loneliness. Take Everybody Wants to Rule the World. On the radio, it's breezy, cool, sunglasses at sunset. In Maya's head, it was a lullaby sung by someone who was exhausted from pretending the world isn't ending. She would slow it down to 70 beats per minute, play it in a minor key on her old Yamaha keyboard with 2 broken keys, and sing it like a prayer. She posted a few of these on TikTok late at night. No face, just hands on keys, a mug of tea steaming next to her. At Cafe Maya After Hours, 214 followers. Most of them were friends. One video of her doing a haunting, almost Bon Iver version of Take On Me got 3,000 views, and she panicked and deleted it. She was not a performer. She was the girl who, in high school, was told by a choir teacher that her voice was interesting, but not really solo material, whatever that meant. It had stuck. So when her best friend Priya sent her the link for the Voice Virtual Open Call and said, "Do it or I will quit being your friend," Maya laughed. She sent back a photo of her pouring latte art. Priya replied, "You turn 80s cheese into heartbreak. People need to hear that." Maya didn't apply, not that day. Then a Tuesday happened. It was raining. A woman came in, maybe 50, drenched, clearly having a bad day. She ordered a chamomile tea and sat by the window for 2 hours, crying quietly into her phone. Maya kept refilling her hot water, not saying anything. When the woman left, she left a napkin on the table. It said, "Thank you for letting me exist here for a while without having to be cheerful. S." That night after closing, Maya didn't just sing, she recorded. She set up her phone. She picked the most 80s song she could think of, the most unrecognizable to make sad. Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Everyone knows it as a glittery anthem, Cyndi Lauper in a million colors. But Maya had always heard the second verse. Some boys take a beautiful girl and hide her away from the rest of the world. And she thought about being 23, working in a cafe, watching people live their big lives through the window. She reimagined it completely. No drums, no pop. She played it in 6/8 times slow on piano, with space. Like a folk song, like a secret. The first line, "I come home in the morning light," she sang like someone coming home from a night shift, tired, not from a party. She sang, "I come home in the morning light. My mother says, when you gonna live your life right?" And suddenly it wasn't about fun, it was about freedom, about wanting one day where you get to decide what fun even means for yourself. She uploaded it as her audition. One take, no filter, her apron was still on. She forgot about it, until the California number called. The blind audition day was surreal. Maya had never owned a dress that wasn't from a thrift store. The stylist team put her in this deep emerald jumpsuit, and she kept tugging at it. "I look like a fancy barista," she told her mom on FaceTime. Her mom cried. Backstage, she was number 19. She watched the monitor. Incredible voices, riffs for days, big belts. She started to sweat through her jumpsuit. Her version was so quiet, so weird. What was she thinking? Her name was called. She walked out with her keyboard. Most people bring a guitar or just a mic. She brought her own little Yamaha, the one with the broken D and F sharp that she had brought from the cafe. The host asked, "What are you going to sing for us tonight, Maya?" She said, "Girls Just Want to Have Fun," but not like you've ever heard it. You could hear the audience chuckle a little. The coaches smiled politely. Reba tilted her head. Chance whispered, "Okay, okay." The track started. Just her. One low piano chord ringing. She sang, "I come home in the morning light." In 4 words, the room changed. The chatter stopped. Because she wasn't singing the song, she was excavating it. By the time she got to the chorus, "Oh, girls, they want to have fun. Oh, girls just want to have fun." It wasn't a chorus, it was a plea. a quiet manifesto. Her voice, which that choir teacher had called not solo material, was exactly solo material. It was airy but grounded, with a little break in it that made every word feel lived in. It was Billie Eilish meets Joni Mitchell meets the girl who makes your coffee. At point 42, John Legend hit his button, loud. Maya jumped. At point 58, Gwen Stefani, who knows this song better than anyone, slammed hers, mouth open. By the last line whispered, all 4 chairs had turned. Gwen was standing. Gwen said, "Maya, what did you just do to that song?" Chance said, "You turned a Halloween costume into a documentary." John said, "That's called artistry. You took one of the most produced songs in history and you made me hear the lyrics for the first time in 30 years. That is unrecognizable in the best way possible." Maya chose Gwen because Gwen looked at her like she saw the cafe girl and the artist as the same person. The journey after that was insane, because every week Gwen challenged her. Don't give us what we expect, give us the unrecognizable. Battle round, she was paired with a big belter named Marcus. They were given Man in the Mirror. He sang it huge. Maya sang her verse like she was singing to herself in the break room mirror at Luna and Bean after a long shift, asking if she was becoming who she wanted to be. She won the battle because it was impossible to look away. Knockouts, she did time after time. She stripped it to just piano and heartbeat kick. She slowed it down until it sounded like a song about waiting for someone who is never coming back from work. The other coach stole her opponent, but Gwen kept her. Live shows. This is where it got real. She had to pick 80s hits and keep making them unrecognizable. Top 12, she did Sweet Dreams Are Made of This by Eurythmics, but instead of the synth anthem, she turned it into a dark Appalachian folk song. Just her, a cello, and stomps. It sounded like it had been written in a cabin 200 years ago. TikTok went crazy. The performance clip hit 12 million views overnight. People were commenting, "I never understood this song was creepy until now." Top 10, Everybody Wants to Rule the World, the one she had always heard as a lullaby. She sang it as a lullaby for a burned-out generation. Twitter had a meltdown. The original band even tweeted, "Maya Chen heard the song inside our song." Top 8, this was the risk. She did Living on a Prayer. Everyone expected big hair, big chorus. She did it as a whispered, near a cappella story about 2 kids in her apartment building who were just trying to make rent. When she finally let the chorus lift just a little, the entire audience stood up without being prompted. Reba was crying. She said, "Young lady, you don't need to belt to bring a house down." But the most important night was top 5, semifinals. She was exhausted. The cafe had given her leave, but she was still worried about rent. Her mom was in the audience, wearing a dress Maya had bought her with her first stipend check. She chose Total Eclipse of the Heart, Bonnie Tyler's giant screaming power ballad, the most 80s of 80s hits. She sat at the piano, no band. Just that old Yamaha, the voice production team had actually flown out for her because she said the broken keys helped her remember where she was. She turned it into something no one had ever heard. She turned it into a quiet, devastating song about her mother, about a woman who left everything, who worked nights, who loved a daughter so much it felt like an eclipse. Turn around, bright eyes. She wasn't singing to a lover. She was singing to her younger self, to her mom, to every girl who works a job where people don't learn her name. When she finished, there was a half second of total silence, the kind of silence that means people forgot to breathe. Then Gwen ran up on stage and hugged her, full on, jumped up and hugged her. She made it to the finale. The first cafe worker finalist who had never had a single vocal lesson. For the finale, they let her do 2 songs. One was a duet with Gwen doing What You Waiting For, and it was pure joy. 2 girls in weird jumpsuits dancing like no one was watching. The second was her own choice, her finale moment. She chose Girls Just Want to Have Fun, again, full circle. But this time with a 20-person choir of all women. Baristas, nurses, teachers, her mom, Priya, women from Luna and Bean's Morning Rush, all in their work clothes. She started alone, quiet, like the audition, and by the final chorus it was massive, but not pop massive, human massive. 100 voices saying, "We just want to have fun. We just want to be free. We just want to be seen." She didn't win. She came in second by less than 1% of the vote. The winner was Thomas Ellis, the bricklayer from Journey 206. And honestly, that felt right. Second place. She flew back to LA for the tour. She came back to Luna and Bean last week for a shift because Luis asked her and she missed the espresso machine. The line was out the door, not because they wanted coffee, because they wanted to say thank you. She still works there sometimes. She still closes. And after she flips the chairs, she still sits on the counter and sings. Only now she leaves the door unlocked. If you have a song in your head that sounds wrong the way everyone else sings it, sing it your way. Turn it unrecognizable. That's where you are. Maya's version of Girls Just Want to Have Fun is on streaming now. Listen to it with headphones, late, after a long day. I promise you have never heard it before.